Hey everybody, we're going to take just a couple of seconds here to give people a chance to get logged on. You're seeing Russ Thompson here, Executive Vice President. Has been with us 5 years now?
5 years.
5 years, okay. So you guys saw John for the first time last, week for, I don't know, almost a year. It's been a while since you've seen Russ.
It's been a year for me.
Come on here too. So we'll give just a second for everyone to get logged on, for me to organize what I need to get organized here. But as we, are taking the second, if you're driving, once again, please don't, and watch this. We're recording it. It'll be on Facebook and YouTube, very quickly. But in the meantime, if you have questions, send them in. Okay, I mean, it's any questions at all. Send them in, and we'll get through, as many as we can, for sure. But Russ specifically, is oversees a lot of things: operations, safety, recruiting, equipment, and so it's there's a wide gamut of things that we cover here. So we're going to take about 10 seconds and just let people get logged on here. Pink Camo, Michelle, hi. Recognize you, from your email. Thanks for sending in your email last week. Suzanne and Brian, good to see you. Ray Parker, what's going on? Mike Sobieski, I think you've been with us about 5-6 years now. Trudy's on, Ray Parker's on, Bill's on. We've got so far about 25 people, Russ. So we'll probably get another 15, 20, as we get going through here. Jack Moore, hi. Miguel Escalante. Miguel Escalante is going to be starting a new position with us in the Southern California local, the DoD local, there. Jake
We're
Moffett.
excited to get that started. That'll be good.
Okay, well, Russ, I think we can start anytime you're ready. So.
All right, thanks, Mike. I'm Russ Thompson. I'm the Executive Vice President of Tri-State. And as Mike said, oversee the operations and shop and recruiting. And I guess IT kind of reports up to me in some of those things that kind of say anything that no one else wants to do. They kind of throw it over this side of the fence. I thought what I would do is just give a little bit of a business update, talk about Tri-State a little bit, some of the things that we have done through these times to keep the fleet busy, and some of the things that we've improved on that I think you guys will see a big change in as we somewhat move back to normal. The COVID crisis was the biggest downturn I think I've ever seen in my 30 years doing this type of work. In typical downturns, you see a long drug out. It takes a year, and every month gets a little worse and a little worse. This one was maybe 2 weeks, and someone flipped a switch, and all of a sudden 25% of your business disappeared. And and what do you do when that happens? And the first thing that we did was we gathered up everybody inside of Tri-State, our planning group and our pricing group and the executive group, and said, what's the new normal? What do we need to do to make it through this? And our goal was to run the trucks. I mean, we knew the owner-operators had to make revenue. We knew that our company guys had to make a paycheck, and we knew Tri-State had to make some money through this thing. And so we completely threw out our 2020 goals and said, hey, those are gone. Let's set new goals. And when we built those goals, we said, if we can hit these numbers, we can run the fleet. We can be successful through this downturn. And that's what we did. And the very first week, we hit the goal. And for the last 10 weeks, we have exceeded the new goals that we set. And to do that, we had to do a tremendous amount of things different. We couldn't just do it the old way. And that's what we told everybody is, you got to think different. We have to price different. We have to get more aggressive on project work. We have to move the fleet from region to region. If there isn't freight in the west, we can't be afraid to move trucks to the central, to the east, and it's going to cause more deadhead, and it's going to cause inefficiencies. But at the end of the day, we had to run the fleet. And I couldn't be prouder of the Tri-State team. We pulled every lever. we knocked some of the biggest projects out of the park that we've ever done, and this is with people working from home and doing basically everything remote. And I really want to thank our drivers. You guys are out there in the pandemic and unknown territory, and it's still somewhat unknown. We don't know how it's all going to turn out, but it just shows the quality of not just our drivers, but across the country, to keep delivering and doing your jobs every day. So I really want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for what you've done for us. And I think one of the most awesome things that come out of this, and in any crisis, some good stuff comes out, but the country realized the importance of drivers quickly. And as soon as we started seeing truck stops being closed, we reached out to the American Trucking Association in those states, and they've got divisions in every state. And we called them immediately and we said, if our trucks can't go into the rest areas, we're not going to deliver. We have to have services. We have to have fuel. They have to have somewhere to stop. They have to have somewhere to sleep and spend the night. And it was pretty amazing. Within 1 or 2 days, every state reopened their rest areas. And they may not have been the same as what they were. There may have been some different, a little less services, but nevertheless, they did react and they opened them. And that, I think it shows the power of what, from the President of the United States all the way down through every governor of every state, that I better keep these trucks running, and we all realize the importance of our drivers. So again, thank you all for everything that you do every day and continue to do. A little bit of an economic update. I talked a little bit about what we've done, and April was down, May was down, March was down a little bit as it first kicked in, but we were profitable in every month, and and not greatly, but making a few points. And you'd ask me, Mike, I take a call. Hang on a minute.
Sorry, everybody. Okay, we're back.
If you'd asked probably anybody at Tri-State, hey, will you be profitable with a 25% decrease in your business? And I think we'd all said, no, we couldn't. But we have been, and that's been probably one of our greatest accomplishments, is not running in the red through these times. And we did it through doing different things, keeping the trucks busy, moving you guys across different regions. We did it by cutting expenses out of corporate, and really getting lean all the way through the organization. But the bottom line is that's what we needed to do, and we learned a lot, and it worked, and it's continuing to working. So where are we today? The country's opened up. Most cities are in some form or fashion. I don't think I was ever as excited to get a haircut as I was after 2.5 months, and but it's different. I'm wearing a mask. The barber's wearing a mask. Everyone in the place is wearing a mask, and that's somewhat of what the new normal is. And even though things are open, when you lay off 30 or 40 million people in a matter of 4 weeks, that switch is pretty easy to flip. But to get everyone back to work, that's not as easy. Partially because we're not all comfortable to go do what we used to do, and it's a pandemic. It's not like a natural disaster where something hits. But Monday, things are bad. But there's not a natural disaster, another one coming tomorrow. At least you certainly hope not. The pandemic it just keeps on going. So I think all our goal is to do everything we can to keep it under control, and I think that's what every city, state in the whole United States is trying to do. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I do wear a mask if I go to grocery stores and auto parts stores, and 3 weeks ago, maybe 25% of the people were. Today, it's 75 or 80% of the people are doing it, and that is somewhat of our new normal. It's the virus that you guys are probably all listening to XM radio as you're cruising the country, and you hear that Arizona's flaring up a little bit. And, you know, we all got to do our part. So you're going to see it. You know, you look at every country that's been successful, and that's what they've done, is they all strap a mask on for a month, and then it pretty much goes away. And will we get there as a country? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. The other thing I'm real proud about our company, and I've talked to a lot of other, you know, companies out there, and there's been a lot of folks, you know, they're just all down and out, and you can just tell that they're, you know, that it's grinded on people a little bit, and I get it. You know, every conversation that I've had with our tri-state team has been positive, and when the phone rings, it's not positive. It's all these loads were canceled. We have to reduce our rate per mile on these lanes. This customer's not shipping this week. That's the news we get. But when you get the team together and you all talk and you say, hey, what do we need to do to replace this freight, to replace this rate? Everyone is positive. And, you know, we make a new plan and we go execute on the plan. And through this whole entire, 10 or 12 weeks, there's not one thing that we haven't accomplished that we set out to accomplish. We executed all our goals, and that should make us all very proud that that's who we work for. And we'll come out a much better company. We'll be smarter. You know, and it's kind of like, what else have you learned through this thing? And you know, I talked about, we learned we can be profitable with a 25% reduction in freight. Any questions, Mike, that we can answer while we're going through?
No, there's several comments. Some people are struggling to hear you, so there's.
Speak up a little.
If you can, if you can. But
all right, I will speak up. You know, we learned that we could make a profit with a 25% less revenue coming in the door. You know, we learned that we could pull off some of the biggest projects that we've ever pulled off, and thanks to our drivers and our operations group, you know, the things we did up in Quebec, the things that we've done out of the ports, and some of these huge moves we've done out of the bases, all things we've never done before. And on a lot of these projects, I felt like our team maybe bit off a little more than that we could chew. But I appreciated their aggressiveness, and they all knew that where we were, that, you know, our revenue was down and we need to do everything we can to make it up. But at the end of the day, we pulled them off. We had to apologize a couple times, and that's just, to our customers, but that's just kind of business. And I'm sure a lot of you folks have, some of these length of hauls have been 2,200 miles up and back, so 4,000 miles, and you're doing it, some of you guys did it twice in a week, which on a team is lights out. I mean, hard to believe. But that's what we did. We also built some really, really good tools. So we've got this new software system. It's Microsoft Business Intelligence, and it sits over the top of Loadmaster, which is our dispatch software. And now we've got balance maps and we've got deadhead maps. So when a planner or a CSR looks at what's going on, not just today, but they can look 5 days out and they can see by region where we have too many trucks. They can see by region where we have too much freight. You could get that information if you ran a 50-page report and started plowing through it. Today, it's right there. So as we come out of this, we will be a much more efficient fleet, which means, we will be probably a 20% deadhead fleet, maybe less, and we were 28% before we started this. So for our owners, for our company teams, it just means we're going to be more efficient. And it's the tools that got us there. We're in a glance, these planners, and I hear it every morning on the call that, what does it look like today? What does it look like the next 5 days? And they're really focused on efficiency of the trucks. I know John covered some of the new trucks and trailers coming in for this year, and we haven't canceled anything. We're basically taking everything that we had on order. So year to date, I think we have 46 new Kenworths. They're all out and running. We just received 20 new Freightliners. They're here. I think we'll have plates and licensing for those in the next week to 2 weeks at the most. And then there's 30 more new Freightliners that'll be in late July, early August is probably the time frame on those. And new vans, we have I think 160 new for the year, and all but 40 of those are here, with the next 40 being here in just a couple of weeks, I think. Any questions, Mike?
No, not really. You know, you've got a lot of people interjecting with the emojis, you know, as you go through various things.
Okay,
but,
excellent. You know, so as far as, you know, Tri-State, we did shrink a little bit coming into it, but not a lot, and we kept everybody busy, and that was the goal. We're going to start adding back a few trucks, not a lot. We're going to seat some company trucks, but really we're just playing it week to week, and you know, we meet 5 times a week on a mini huddle with the operations team. It's about a 15-minute call, and we walk through the metrics of what's going on. You know, what does today look like? What does tomorrow? What does the week look like? And you know, we're planning and we're adjusting. Go ahead, Mike.
Andrew Chase Strode, he's one of our owner-operators. As any of our shops set up to do warranty repairs?
We are not set up to do warranty repairs. It's on the list. We have to get approved by the OEMs to do it, and we just have not done that. Good question.
We have another question here from Eric Weekly. When will hiring open back up for owner-operators?
We've basically said we will put on 5 additional owner-operator teams in the month of June. But that's where it is, and the reason we're doing that is we're running out of capacity. We ran out last week. We're running out again this week, to where we have more freight than what the existing fleet can haul. So we are going to start ramping back up, but extremely cautiously, I guess would be the words that I would use.
What's Bill Weiland asks, you know, what do you see for load counts for flatbed in particular?
Flatbed has been probably one of the shining stars, at least the last, you know, in today's crisis, if we see something in a week, we're calling it a trend, right? Because things were so bad, but flatbed the last 3 weeks has been pretty much lights out. More flatbed than what we can physically haul. You know, Gina does a fabulous job with the flatbed fleet, and I hear her all the time on the call saying, you know, I'd like to take it, but I can't take it. I see the emails every day saying yes or no as these loads are being offered. So I would say flatbed is going to stay strong from this point probably through September. It'd be what I'd guess, but yeah, we're seeing great activity in flatbed.
And then Jake Moffitt wants to say it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Jake.
Okay.
I do miss traveling out to Joplin. I mean, that's one of the things we used to go to a lot. Now we're, you know, we're doing more of this kind of stuff, but it's definitely a change in the kind of new normal.
That's it for now.
That's it.
Yep.
I really don't have anything else other than, you know, it's been difficult times, but I think as a company we've accomplished a lot, and we're in a good spot. And I couldn't say, you know, I couldn't be more proud of the organization, our drivers, all the office folks, and everything that we've got done.
Christina Langell, she seems to think that we have some inside information on ramen supply, whether it's back in stock or not. So I will say, last time I went to Walmart a week ago, they had plenty of ramen again. So
did they have toilet paper?
Yeah, they had some toilet paper.
Yeah, I think we've seen things that we've never thought we would see in our lifetimes, and it's been a learning experience, I think, for everybody.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Any other questions? It's probably too late now, but Russ, thank you very much, and we'll do it again. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Be safe.